With Andrew Mccutchen right now on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And Andrew, great to have you. Thanks for joining us on such a special day. And also, we show that because you and your wife Maria wrote it so beautifully for everyone to listen to throughout all of the ballparks on opening day. So take us inside how that went down for you and how you put it together.
Yeah, thanks for having me first and foremost. In a nutshell, basically, um, there was a conversation that I had amongst my wife, and about what is it that what are we trying to do as African Americans? What is it that we're looking for, and what is it going to take? And what signifies change? And after having these conversations, we came up with the idea of being able to do what you saw. There was a lot of conversations that were had amongst players, teams, people outside of the game, the hows, the whys, the questions that came about. In a nutshell, that's kind of how it came about. It all began with conversation, and I think that's first and foremost. That's something that we all need as people, is to be able to have those hard conversations amongst each other and with each other, so you can come up with a very good solution.
And also, we had the words, but then the visuals as well. So the black ribbon that was being held by every player standing united on the field during pregame ceremonies for opening day. So what was running through your mind during that process?
Yeah, it was amazing to see that. After just all the work that went into it, knowing that first we wanted to actually interlock arms. That's the first thing that we really wanted to do. And just throughout baseball is interlock arms, but just with COVID and protocol, they didn't want us doing that, so we had to think of Plan B, and that was Plan B, was having this fabric sent out. The fabric doesn't necessarily represent anything. It's more of the connection of being united. That's really all that we were trying to do. And since we couldn't touch, that was the next best thing. So it was great to be able to see. There are a couple hiccups at a few ballparks. Some ballparks didn't have fabric. We were like, what are we gonna do? So but we all got it. We all took care of it, and it got finished, and it came out well.
Yeah, I think it's important for people to know how much went into everything on opening day and then how much it meant and then how we continued the conversation. So first off, I want to mention 5 o'clock Eastern today, you will see on the Phillies YouTube a special virtual conversation for free on the Phillies YouTube channel, Athletes and Activism, a conversation on baseball, race, and social justice in celebration of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Kutch, you'll be there, former Philly Jimmy Rollins, Milt Thompson, and our all-star Harold Reynolds. So what will that conversation and those conversations be about? What should we look forward to at 5?
Just look forward to just our experiences as baseball players. When me currently playing, Jimmy Rollins and Milt and Harold, just the experiences, the things that they experience coming through baseball. Just having those hard conversations and very honest, open conversations about things that occurred this past year with the protests, the riots, and how we all felt about it, and also talking about Negro League baseball and it being recognized as Major League Baseball. So just a bunch of different conversations that we had, a lot of laughter, a lot of seriousness, but overall, very good conversation. Lasted about an hour, and for me, the hour flew by. It's a very good talk, very good conversation.
Andrew, you mentioned the past year and all the things that have happened. What do you think has changed for the sport?
I think what's changed for the sport is realizing that there's still work to be done. Not just specifically for African Americans. I think just in general, of realizing there's a crack in this nation, and it's being able to recognize it first and foremost, and realize that there's still work to be done. There's still conversations to be had, and there's still problems that need to be solved. And like once again, it's not just a black and white thing. I mentioned, even guys from coming in from other countries like the Dominican and Venezuela, they have problems of their own. So we're in a unique situation in baseball to where there's people that from all types of places coming together as one, and just to be able to show that, hey, I have your back and you have mine. But what I think the biggest change is realizing that there is a problem, that there is work to be done, and it's about solving it. It's about how can we come together to just openly solve those problems as best as we can.
Now, you mentioned some of those conversations are hard conversations. Now, the clubhouse was a different place this season because of the COVID restrictions and all of that, but did those conversations take place? Did you have different types of conversations with teammates than in the past?
Oh, for sure. Definitely had conversations, hard conversations. Just being able to have these sit downs with guys, to them having questions about something that they may not know about, and us and me personally being able to answer some of those, and realizing some people's eyes being open as, man, I didn't know that was a problem. I didn't know that existed. You being who you are, why would someone ever look at you that way? I can't believe that, or treat you that way. It was having those conversations and people realizing this is something that it's not just some people. It's a lot of us. It's a lot of African Americans. We all experience things at some way, shape, or form of our lifetime. We have experienced something that just wasn't fair. It wasn't right. So it was those eyes being open, having those conversations with each other, and realizing, all right, hey, we want to do something, and we want to be a part of something. What do we have to do? What do we need to do to make a change?
And we've seen a lot going on with the Players Alliance throughout the offseason, commendable work, impacts being made around communities. And now let's focus on the day at hand in Martin Luther King Jr. Day. What runs through your mind on a day like today? Maybe that's different from years past for you.
Yeah, it really is. Sometimes, and I hate to say it or word it or voice it, but a lot of times when Martin Luther King Day comes, the monotony of it can sometimes sit in because you get the same questions every year. You try not to answer them the same. So there's ways for me personally that you hate to necessarily say like, well, it meant so much to me and this day means so much. You can get those questions over and over and over, but the way that I battle that is by really digging in deep, learning more about MLK and who he was and what he did, as opposed to just reading the quote or learning the things that I already know. Is diving deeper every single time so I can have a bigger appreciation. I've always appreciated, but having much more of an appreciation for who he was and what he did. So it means a lot to me. It means especially even more, especially now that we've gone what we're going through and we're still trying to make things work. But I would hope that MLK would be able to look down on us and be proud, and also know that there's more work to be done.
Yeah, and the conversation continues. Andrew, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your thoughts. It's important, especially on a day like today, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, appreciate it, guys.